right, so get ready, because today we're diving into the world of AI.
Okay.
But not just the like, oh wow, self-driving cars and AI making art.
Right.
We're going to go deeper,
Yeah.
like way deeper into the ethics of it all.
On an ethical side. Yeah.
Yeah, so artificial intelligence, it's a big deal.
This
And
is
we're going to
so-
be looking at this Forbes article from 2021
Okay.
by this AI expert, Bernard Marr.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, it's got some really good stuff for like anybody.
For sure.
Whether you're like, a tech person, business leader, or
Right.
just curious about the future. This is for you.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is that a lot of times people think like
Yeah.
AI is going to be this like simple solution to all these complex problems. And
Like magic wand.
it's not a magic wand. Yeah. And honestly, like even experts
Really?
in the field are sometimes like, wait, how does this even work? You know?
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it can be a little bit unnerving.
It is a little bit.
Because it's like you have this really powerful tool, but you're not really quite sure how to use it responsibly.
Yeah.
So that's why transparency is just so crucial,
Yeah.
when it comes to, developing and using AI.
So it's not just like build cool tech,
Right.
but like understand what could happen.
It's the implications, right? Like what are the potential consequences of this
Yeah.
technology that we're building?
For sure.
And actually the article brings up this really good example
Okay.
with the Royal Bank of Scotland.
Okay.
They were using AI to improve their customer service.
Interesting.
But they really went above and beyond to be transparent with their customers.
So they weren't just like throwing AI at the problem and hoping it worked out.
Yeah, they didn't just kind of like throw it into the mix and hope for the best.
Yeah.
They really took the time to explain to their customers,
Okay.
this is what data we're using, this is how we're using it, and this is how you're going to
Right.
benefit from it.
So they were really upfront about it.
Yeah, they were upfront, and that really helped to build trust,
That's huge.
which is just essential for anything new that you're adopting,
Right. Especially something this big.
especially something as powerful as AI. Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah.
I mean, transparency builds trust.
It does.
It's the foundation of like
Yeah,
any relationship, really.
absolutely.
And then you have the opposite of that, like no trust
Right.
with that whole Cambridge Analytica thing.
Oh, yeah, that was a mess.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of what can go wrong when there is no transparency.
Yeah.
The way they were collecting data from people and using it
Hmm.
without getting clear consent was just a huge problem.
Totally.
And that's why data privacy and handling data responsibly is so important.
It really makes you think like, what are you putting out there online
Oh, yeah.
and who are you giving it to?
Absolutely. And it also just highlights that we need rules,
Yeah.
clear guidelines for this stuff to make sure it's being used ethically,
Yeah.
responsibly,
Cool.
And another thing that Marr really emphasizes in this article
Yeah.
is this problem with bias in AI.
Okay.
And he uses this really interesting example, the Google ImageNet case.
Okay, I don't think I know that one.
Yeah, it was this situation where they had facial recognition AI,
Mhm.
and it was working way better on white faces
Really?
than on people of color. And the reason was that the data that they used to train it
Oh, wow.
was mainly white people.
So it was biased from the beginning.
Yeah, so the AI was basically just reflecting the biases of the data
Wow.
that it was trained on.
That's scary.
It is, because that just shows you if the data's biased, the AI is going to be biased.
Right.
And that's a big deal when you start thinking about AI being used for things like
Yeah.
hiring, loan approvals, even criminal justice.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's like if the data's messed up, the AI just keeps messing things up.
Yeah, it just keeps perpetuating those flaws.
Right.
And so we've got to be super careful about this. We can't just trust that these algorithms are fair and impartial.
Yeah.
We've got to look at the data they're trained on
Right.
and make sure it's representative
Yeah.
and unbiased.
So it's not just the code. It's like
It's the data that's feeding the code.
the food for the code.
Yeah, the fuel for the code.
Yeah.
And that leads us to this other thing that's super important for ethical AI.
Okay, what's that?
Explainability.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting. I've heard that term before.
Yeah.
Explainable AI. But what does that actually mean?
Basically, it means making the AI's decision-making process
Oh, okay.
clear and understandable.
So we know how it's making decisions.
Yeah, it's moving away from that black box idea where
Uh-huh.
even the people who made it don't really know how it's coming to its conclusions.
It's like AI is doing a magic trick, but we need to know
Right.
how the rabbit got in the hat.
Exactly. And this is especially important when AI is being used in situations where
Right.
stakes are high, like healthcare, finance, or criminal justice.
Huge.
Yeah, it can't just make a decision. We need to know how it got there.
Yeah.
What factors did it consider?
So it's about accountability, right? Like,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
need to be able to justify and explain the AI's decisions.
It's about making sure it's doing things for the right reasons.
Right.
And this is crucial when you're dealing with decisions that could really change someone's life.
Like life or death even.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if an AI is deciding who